Hello, everybody. Welcome to She Smiles at the Future. I am here to read Project Sunlight. It's been a long time since I've read from this book. I'm sorry for those of you that were into listening to it and then it just I didn't keep going with it. I'm really sorry. Life. But I've actually had some time in my life today. Unfortunately, my daughter's not feeling too good, but that's kind of why I've had time in my life, because she's kind of resting, taking it easy today. And I haven't had to do a whole lot of homeschooling and just things like that. I've been able to have some time to do some readings. I uploaded this book, chapter 7 from this book. And now I'm going to be doing this. So yay. Okay, so I left off on chapter 4. That's the last reading I did. So we're going to do chapter 5. Okay. All right. And the way I do this book, I'm just going to do it because it's done in like play form almost, the way this was written. So I just read the name of who's speaking and then I say their dialogue, and that's how I do it. Okay? All right. Chapter 5. In parentheses, in the dining area of Sunlight's living room, the table is set for 8. Sunlight arranges flowers while Carol brushes Jenny's long hair. Carol, I'm so excited, Mom. We're having our first real-life party in our own apartment, and Daddy's coming. Jenny, it's not going to be quite like the old times, dummy. His wife will be here, too, and you mustn't talk about things that happened when we all lived together. Carol, Mom, make her stop treating me like I'm a 2-year-old. Sunlight, I guess we both have to realize Carol isn't a baby anymore, Jen. I think she understands the situation. I'm not quite sure myself what we are going to talk about. She pauses. Would you girls think I was insane if we prayed that this will be a happy, relaxed time for everyone? Right here, now, before the guests arrive? Jenny, what's going on with you and Sybil? Are you getting religious like that old lady that helped you clean when we lived in Pennifield? Sunlight, I'm not sure what it means to get religious, Jen, but Sybil and I have been trying to find out what it means to follow God. In fact, knowing God just a little bit gave me the courage to have this dinner party today and to ask your father, so something good has come from it. Carol, then let's pray. We could stand a little more good things around here. In parentheses, Sunlight kneels and the girls kneel uncertainly beside her. Sunlight. God, I feel a little scared at what I've just set out to do. I'm not sure just how to put everyone at ease when the guests arrive. Please send me your peace into this room, and may each guest feel your love, and please give them the gift of the gift of a forgiving heart. Amen. Carol, that's the first time I ever prayed in my life. Sunlight, which doesn't say much for my mothering. The doorbell rings. Sunlight welcomes Sybil and Bill. Sybil, Meg, I want you to meet my husband, Bill. Bill, a tall, distinguished appearing man with piercing, intelligent eyes. I am in your debt, young lady, for keeping Sybil entertained these past weeks. I never expected to see her so fascinated with the Bible. She's been reading it lately like it contained her horoscope for the day. Sunlight laughing. We are complete novices, floundering in a very deep water, I fear. Sorry, my hair is like... Sit down and help yourselves to some of those dips on the coffee table. The doorbell rings again. Enter Jim and Marie. Sunlight, hesitantly to Jim. I thought it was about time I started entertaining again before I forgot all my best recipes. Thank you for coming. Jim, smiling but uncomfortable. Oh, no. No. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Sorry about that. It's life with dogs. And I'm downstairs. A lot of times I'm reading in my car or I'm reading up in my upstairs area and you can't really hear the dogs as much, but right now I'm in my dining room and this is kind of like where they hang out too. So, all right. So Jim, sorry. I'm still in a state of shock, but thank you for inviting us, Meg. This is Marie. Hey, shh. Sunlight, extending her hand. I'm sorry it's taken me so long to get myself together. Please relax and enjoy yourself, Jen. Would you take Marie's coat, please? Sunlight goes into the kitchen and leans against the wall, taking a deep breath and talking to herself. Sunlight, I made it. For 2 years, I've lived in terror of even looking at her. And I survived. Oh God, help me not to hate her. Michael steps through the kitchen door. Sunlight, you startled me. I'm recuperating from the first round and readying for the next. Oh, Michael, it hurts so bad. Tears run down her face. Michael, I'm glad to hear you say those words, Maggie. It's step number 1. Now what can I do to help you, besides finding a Kleenex? Together they ready the table with Jenny and Carol helping. The dinner proceeds awkwardly at first, but with increasing warmth and laughter. Sunlight busies herself with serving and says little. Jim, the world of science is charging so fast that the textbooks in my classes use are outdated almost before they leave their wrappers. Sybil, maybe they should dispense with them altogether and just have daily bulletins from the laboratories. Laughter. Michael, smiling. Doesn't it seem strange to you all that all of a sudden men would get it all together after thousands of years of crude existence? Maybe we humans aren't as brilliant as we like to think. Suppose there's a power beyond us shaping events to fit his master plan. Bill, you are suggesting, I gather, that history might be coming to some kind of a conclusion. I am not sure I want things to wind up. I'm just getting to the place where I can enjoy the rewards of a lifetime of work. Sybil, don't you think whatever lies ahead might be just as pleasant and challenging as whatever it is you plan to do? Bill, I wouldn't bank on it. I've always been in the opinion that we'd best get it all that's to be had out of this life, because I figure we're little but fertilizer when it's over. Marie, I couldn't enjoy life here if I believed that. There is so much beauty in human relationships, are so precious. Life must go on somehow. In parentheses, Sunlight watches Marie her delicately pretty face, now intense and serious. Jim, I feel the same way sometimes in the lab. Life is so mysterious and complex that it would be insane to destroy it. But I haven't the faintest idea where we're all headed. I just do the best I can and hope everything turns out all right. Sybil, I think that's a dangerous approach, Jim. Meg and I have been studying the Bible, and I'm convinced that I had a mix up. Okay. I'm convinced that more is expected of us than we just living a decent life. In fact, Christ said we must love the Lord with all of our hearts and our neighbors as ourselves. I doubt we understand what it means to truly love our neighbors, much less to love the Lord with all of our hearts. Most of us barely acknowledge his existence. Bill, the conversation is getting far too heavy for me. Come on, Jenny. Let's excuse ourselves and read the comics. I haven't seen Flash Gordon for at least 10 years. Jenny, giggling. I don't think he's around anymore. Bill, well, that's a shame, but surely Blondie hasn't retired. They settle down on the couch with the Sunday paper. Jim, we have to go, Meg. Marie has some artwork to prepare for the Christmas play at school. You're still the best cook in Western New York. He turns to Carol. Come here, baby. Give your pa a little lovin' before he has to go. Carol climbs delightfully on his lap. Gradually, the guests drift away until only Michael remains. Sunlight. How did I do? Michael. Only you can tell. How did you do? Sunlight. Well, I didn't lie down on the floor and kick my heels and cry. Maybe that's pretty good for the first time. Michael, tenderly. It was more than pretty good, Maggie. It was splendid. I have something for you. Sunlight. Animal, vegetable, or mineral? Michael. Beats me. He places a beautiful leather-bound Bible in her hands. Sunlight. Michael, how did you know? I've wanted one so badly and they're so expensive. Michael, as I think you could tell at dinner, I've been doing a little studying myself, and I find that you can't get anywhere without a concordance. That thing you were using was only a child's New Testament. Sunlight, you are so good to me. I have a feeling this may be the best gift anyone's ever given me. I'm dying of curiosity. Whatever possessed you to start reading the Bible? Michael, those few chapters I read to you that night here really got to me. It was as though they met some need I'd had all my life. I went out the next day and I bought a Bible, and I've been digging away ever since. Sunlight, do you want to study with Sybil and me? Michael, no thanks anyway, but I have to wrestle it out alone. It will either turn my life upside down or I'll go away with it, or I'll go my own way without it. He pauses. Somehow I can't see how one can become moderately involved. Sunlight, it almost frightens me to hear you say that, for that's how I feel too. I'm not sure I'm ready to give myself totally to anything. Yet it may be already too late for me to turn back. Michael and the girls help Sunlight tidy the house, then he leaves. The girls sit on the couch looking gingerly at Sunlight's new Bible. Jenny, they make it seem so mysterious by putting it in soft leather and with those pages so thin. Are you sure it's any different from any other book? Sunlight, you can buy it in paperback at most bookstores, love, but that doesn't make it any less special. If it's really God's message to us, it deserves fine pages wrapped in soft leather. Jenny, do you think that it's really God's message to us? Sunlight, well, I've heard some say it's the only intelligent inkling we have of where we came from, why we're here, and where we're headed. Jenny, giggling, do you know the answers to all those questions? Sunlight, no, Jen, I wish I did, but Sybil and I are searching, and Michael too, so among us, maybe we'll find out. Jenny, could I understand it? Sunlight, some parts, I'm sure. Get ready for bed and bring your own Bible, the one we've been using, and we'll read the first chapter of Luke together. Carol, me too? Sunlight, sure, Button, but it may be over your head. They read about half of the long first chapter of Luke, Sunlight taking time to explain or admitting she herself doesn't understand. Carol, it must have been great to have been chosen the mother of Jesus, or that other guy, John. Maybe better than being a television star or an Olympic champion. Jenny, why do you suppose Mary got picked, Mom? Sunlight, I guess because God saw in her those qualities that would give her son the best start in his earth life. It would have scared me a little, I guess. Jenny, could we do this every night? Sunlight, perhaps now and then when you don't have too much schoolwork. Now scoot. Carol, if I kneel down by my bed, could I talk to Jesus? Sunlight, of course. Carol, what do I say? Sunlight, anything you'd like to say if he were sitting right there beside you. I have seen a lot of dinner parties on planet Earth, but none that interests me so much as the one I've observed. I would not have believed Sunlight capable of playing the gracious hostess to her former husband and his wife. Only Earth Friend's softening influence could bring about such a change. She will not heal easily, but the closer she comes to the prince, the less earth pain will matter. I long to talk to the prince about it all. His ministry in the sanctuary, Hebrews 8:1-2, consumes most of his time. I wish I could take Sunlight, Sybil, and Michael on a tour of the city. If they could have but one glimpse, they would have no doubts. The countless angels surrounding the throne of God, Revelations 5:11. The seraphim singing, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts, Isaiah 6:2-3. And the spirit of peace and the joy in the heart of every inhabitant. Sometimes when we angels sing his praise, it seems to me there are no words or notes grand enough. When the prince first returned to heaven, there was great celebration and rejoicing, as he was seated at the right hand of the Father. But the work of salvation was not yet done, and he soon moved into his role as intercessor for his human family. Now, though his intercession still goes on, he has added to that the work of judgment. Daniel 7:9, 10, 13, and 14. For the decision must be made regarding the eternal destiny of each human being before the prince can bring his people home. Earthlings could learn so much if they would just turn off their TVs, put away their books and magazines. The Bible is brimming over and exciting with exciting discoveries. The book of Daniel is filled with fascinating prophecy that sheds insight right down through the ages till the end. One would think men would spend every spare moment searching and praying for understanding when it involves their eternal destiny. But the rebel somehow soothes them into a lethal indifference. We know the day will come when the prince will walk away from his work as both intercessory and judge. And at that time, earthlings will no longer have the freedom to choose between the rebel and the prince. Their choices will have been made and their decisions sealed for all eternity. Sometimes I look at that small planet, clouds drifting across its deep blue surface, and wonder how much time it has left. How many more sunrises it will see. How many more times the leaves will fall and blow across the winding roads. How many more mornings will rise and wake their sleeping families to ready for the day. How many more springtimes will green the frozen land. And I weep because I love them. All right, guys. So that was chapter 5 of Project Sunlight. Like I said, I'm going to try to stay on a good track with continuing the readings of both of these books. And we will be completing them before you know it. Okay? Blessings. And remember, there's always a reason to smile with Jesus. God bless.